emailed me, and I'm so grateful. And I have just, it's been so exciting for me to be along now on your ride as you kind of are going through what I worked on step by step. And so that's humbled and grateful there. And for those of you who are not aware of the book and you're just hearing about me for the first time, I would say that this is a really great opportunity for you if you are someone who is feeling like so many people out there, that you feel disconnected from your life, you feel that something is missing, you feel that, and maybe you feel that you're firing on most cylinders, but there's one or two that are just a little off and you can't quite figure out how to connect them, how to plug it all in. This is a great journey for you. This is would be a wonderful tool to add to the kit. I don't think any one book in particular is the salvation for any one person or group. I think all of these books are merely about self-awareness, and I think they just offer a different set of tools. And I think what is really great about what I've done that's a little different is that I have divided the book into the months of the year, and so each month has a theme. And I tried to make it as fun as I could, but there are some months that it's a little bit more difficult, and you really have to roll up your sleeves. I know I'm hearing from a lot of people who are on the journey. What many of the readers have done is they've started in on whatever week when they've gotten the book, because there are four lessons to each month. I start you on a Sunday, you can start on Monday, Thursday, doesn't matter, is that they have simultaneously read the book cover to cover. So they kind of are looking ahead. And it's really interesting. A lot of people have already mentioned how they're a little nervous because July is a little tougher. It really deals with independence and how independent people are and what are the issues around really, truly having independence. We need to look at forgiving, so we put that under the microscope, and we look at poisonous people who may be in your life, and so many of us have had a poisonous person in our life, and many of us still have a poisonous person or persons in our lives that we really need to rid ourselves of someone like that, because these are not people who are happy for us when we meet our challenges. They are not people who are willing to lend a helping hand. And what you want to start surrounding yourself with are people, and it doesn't matter if it's one or it's 50, but you have to really make sure that these are people who are in your camp. These are people who are for you. These are people who are there for you. If there's that 2 a.m. call and someone's passed away, they're going to be in your corner. They're going to help you out. I will say that we don't always look at that, and we have to get rid of the people who are usurping us of our power and our energy, and that's not always an easy thing to do, because very often we are empathetic and we want to make excuses and we want to say, well, I feel sorry for him or her, or they didn't have the best life. But the point is, we're all adults now, and you have to protect the life that you have, and you have to be willing to protect where it is that you want to go. So it's very important to surround yourself with those who are not poisonous. And then we take a look at being independent of what-ifs, because so many often say, well, shoulda, woulda, coulda, but we all know that we didn't, because if we would have done that, it would be a very different trajectory. And that's not where we are. We are where we are today. So it doesn't matter about the shoulda, woulda, couldas. We need to just look at where we are realistically. and we look at flexibility. So these are some of the harder pieces that people are getting ready. And I've started the book. What should I say? A little more tenderly, a little softer. Not to say that you're not working, but we've worked on gratitude. We worked on slowing down. We really started to gauge January by really working on slowing down, and I really don't know of anyone these days who says, "Oh no, I'm going at the right pace. It's great." We are all talking about and very often complaining that we have too much to do and we don't have enough time for ourselves and we need to slow down, but we don't really put the brakes on. So it's very simple. We work on that for a week. And again, I talk in the beginning of the book, in the introduction, I really let you know that this is your journey. And I think as soon as people embrace that and realize that this is your life, you have the power, that you can choose to do this book any way you want. I had a woman not too long ago, she wrote in and she said, "I love June. I've structured June all about playtime, and it's all about, tapping into your spontaneity and being silly and doing nothing and, being a kid, all those things that we think of with the month of June, because we still, many of us think of, school's out, even though we haven't been in school for decades. There's that deep seed that's been planted. And so she wrote in and she said, "I can't wait for June. Can I do June now?" And I wrote back to her and I said, "I think your soul is calling out for some playtime. I think this is what you really need. And because of that, do June now. And you can do June for 3 months straight if that's what you feel you need. Do the book however you want to do it."
Yeah. A lot of good points here. You mentioned. It's amazing how important it is to have somebody to point out the weaknesses in the things we do which do not serve our best interest. And we have a caller online waiting for us. Hi, who is this?
Hi, it's JD. How are you?
Fine. How are you?
I'm doing very good. I'm actually calling on behalf of one of your fans, a big fan of your show. It's my grandmother. She's, believe it or not, 94 years old.
Oh, wow. That's fantastic.
Yeah, she's 94 years old. You'll appreciate this as a broadcaster, I think. She herself is a radio pioneer. She was one of the first female radio hosts back in the 1940s. Her name is Iris. She had her own show called the Blue Iris Green Thumb Plant and Pottery Hour. It was sort of like a first incarnation of the Home and Garden Network for housewives at the time.
Wow, that's exciting. Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, well,
thank you so much.
It's my pleasure. She's a really big fan of yours, and she would love to speak with you. I'd love to put her on the line and to say hello.
Of course, yeah, of course.
Okay, hang on.
Hello?
Nana?
Yeah.
Nana, come here. Okay, here she is.
Hi.
Hello.
Hi. How are you?
How are you?
Fine, thank you. Thank you so much.
How are you?
I'm fine. Thank you. Thank you. Very nice to hear your voice. Thank you so much. I heard from your son. You're my fan. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for everything.
To do to me? What do you want to do to me?
Hello?
Are you thick like a can of soup?
I cannot hear you. I'm sorry.
Oh, my God. I'm fingering my cunt.
Hello?
I have 4 fingers of my wet cunt.
Okay.
Okay, I think Iris has to be cut off.
Lick my brown hole.
Yeah,
I'm so fucking wet.
I think
I'm
we have
wearing
to
a
cut off
needle today. I went to do
I think we need to
your...
move on, Diana. If there's another caller out there on the line, maybe we can cut this off. I think somebody thought it was really funny to play a prank or something, which is just really inappropriate.
Absolutely.
Very inappropriate,
absolutely. As you said, you're, a lot of negative people around, and we have to be careful who we allow in our lives. And I think this was just an example.
I think it's a perfect point, and I think there are always people who are trying to, Andy Warhol said it best, everyone wants their 15 minutes of fame, and once again, clearly someone poisonous for whatever reason. So we move on. I mean, that's the way it is.
Yeah, exactly. So, what else are you talking about in your book? Are you talking about what are the first steps to take when we find a way to open a business? What should be the first step to take?
Well, the first step when someone, and I do discuss this in one of the weeks for goal setting, I think some of the best information for people if you're interested in starting a new business or interested in growing a business is it is always great to get a mentor. So often people don't think of doing that, and it's something that you can get. For example, an in-house mentor, if you are already in a large business and you're interested in shifting gears and maybe moving into a different area of that particular field, it's great to reach out to HR. It's great to see if there are any in-house mentors because there are a lot of people out there who want to help other people, and which is always something that we have to keep in mind because I think the more that we all remember that there are people who want to give us a helping hand, those will be the people that we attract into our energy field, and we don't have to worry about the other stuff. It kind of sifts away, if you will, because eventually people that aren't interested in the positivity, they don't want to be around a group that is really positive because they can be found out. So they'll move on. The negative Nellies will find somewhere else, and you find someone in-house who is willing to be your mentor. And if you can't find someone in-house, if you don't work at a large corporation, or maybe right now you are in between jobs, or maybe you're coming out of school. So it's really wonderful if you reach out to whether a small business, whether a larger facility, let them know what it is that you think you would like to do, and would they be willing to mentor you in some way? Would they be willing to help you with some of the steps needed to attain your goals or get closer to the goalpost, as I talk about in the book? And you can always, of course, let's remember, this is where Google and working on a computer or, your iPad or whatever it is, whatever device you're using, this is where it's really great to sit at night and spend hours doing your homework and finding out what it is that you need to start a business, because you have to start with a really good business plan, and you have to understand some of the business metrics, which is the cost to start up a business, and you have to understand the competition to your area, and you have to understand if you need more education. And what's great about where we are now in the world is that there was a time where formalized education was the only way to really succeed. And the glass ceiling has been broken on that. We've had a lot of millionaires that have come along who have had very special skill sets. They've been incredibly creative, and they have found ways to not necessarily continue with formalized education. However, and I really want people to hear me on this, and I don't want to be misunderstood, they continued to educate themselves. So, again, it doesn't matter if you are going to a bookstore and sitting there for 3 hours a day, 7 days a week, looking at